career today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Cupid, the messenger of love. Psst, that guy is totally undependable. This Valentine's Day, choose Petal Creations as your personal messenger of love. From designs that say, hey, I kind of like you, to you rock my world. We know how to create the perfect floral design sure to tell your Valentine how you really feel. We have so many design choices it will make your head spin. More importantly, they will make her head spin. PetalCreations.com or 423-6500. Stop in and see us at 56th and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into Ticket Weeknights, kicking off with the Husker Football Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Streaming worldwide on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, streaming locally at Allo Channel 961, and of course on our free app for your phone. I'm Austin Norman, joined on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, by the lead sports columnist for the Omaha World Herald. It's Tom Shatel. Tom, lots to get into tonight. Let's start with last night's festivities. 3 former Huskers are Super Bowl champions, including Nebraska-born, Nebraska-raised Cam Jurgens. How about that glow up from little old Pickerel, Nebraska, Beatrice, Nebraska, to Super Bowl champion for 51?
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Unless, of course, you're a Chiefs fan, which I'm not. But Yeah, I mean, what a great story. And talk about somebody that, a lot of Eagles had a lot of pressure on them this year, but probably no more than Cam, replacing a future Hall of Famer and Jason Kelsey, who's not only, he's got to fill his shoes, but he seems to be on TV every 5 minutes. So, there's that reminder that he's always around and he's there, and he was great. And, I saw a quote from the Eagles offensive line coach this week about if he was surprised that Cam was able to fill his shoes so easily, or so quickly. And he said no, because he was playing right guard next to him, and he watched everything he did, every day. So he was able to, learn from the best every day. So, but yeah, that was a Scott Frost move, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Cam a tight end, maybe?
Yeah.
So it's it worked out great, and go Beatrice. It's awesome.
That it is. I mean, that's 3 former Huskers on the same team, Cam Jurgens and Nick Gates, and then O'Shawn Mathis will all get rings for their parts with the Eagles. Tom, what do you remember about the conversation about moving Cam Jurgens, one of the highest rated tight end prospects out of high school, to center? Were you surprised by that move at the time? I mean, clearly it worked out, but it seems like it's a move too that worked eventually in Nebraska. But I don't know if anyone saw, this for Cam Jurgens when that move was made.
Well, this was back when I guess Scott Frost was smart. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just like, the first 2 years, he made the, we thought, well, Scott knows personnel. He knows what he wants in his offense. And if he says that this guy's going to be a great center and because of his athleticism, then I thought, sure, why not? I mean, it made sense. The O-line guys for Nebraska under Mo Teneper were not just big, or they weren't necessarily always tall. They were good athletes. So they could do a lot of stuff. Zach Wiegert was, he was hell on wheels, and a lot of these guys could, Will Shields, just I don't know, Dave Remington, just guys who could really move. So, so I wasn't surprised. I was just curious how it was going to work out.
What can having 3 Super Bowl champs do for Nebraska? Is that something the program can use as a sales pitch, or is that different regimes, different staff? It's just kind of a cool note.
Right now, until the rest starts winning on a regular basis, it's a recruiting thing, but not as much as NIL, not as much as rev share. So yeah, having being able to hang up Jurgens' jersey in the football offices. The Eagles jersey and all this stuff, and be able to tell him, he just played the Super Bowl. That's very cool. But the stuff that gets people to sign is dollar bills and the old standby playing time. So but it can't hurt.
That it can't. Speaking of dollar signs, we got some news today, Tom, about the contract for new special teams coordinator Mike Eckler, $625,000 per season. What do you make of that investment from Nebraska into its special teams coordinator and its special teams unit?
Well, it's more than a lot of head coaches in Nebraska ever made, but that was back in the Stone Age. I mean, I don't really care about what these guys make. It's all funny money to me. It's not coming out of anybody's pocket. It's also market. I mean, he was made just below that at Tennessee. Well, if you're going to get him, you got to pay him. So, I think all the coordinators are all worth that. Whatever you want to pay him. And a lot of these guys are getting over $1 million now. So, but as we go forward, revenue sharing, and people are having to raise money to pay for NIL stuff, and I just wonder if we're going to get to a point where the coaches' salaries top off a little bit, because the money has to go to the players. So we're not there yet, but I think we're going to get there in a hurry.
I think we are too. I mean, you look at some of the extensions, the raises that have been handed out. I mean, some of the first-time contracts as well. I mean, you think back to Mel Tucker, the contract Michigan State gave him, pretty big. Obviously, that didn't work out for a variety of reasons. Ryan Day signs an extension. They'll get him paid about $12.5 million per year. And that's just the thing too, Tom. I think it is going to be, like you said, dependent on the market. We'll see if it cools off, but that's almost where in Ohio State, maybe even a Georgia to some degree, might always be the outliers, because Ohio State, I think, can still afford to give Ryan Day $12.5 million per year on top of the rumored $20 million they already spent on their roster from just NIL and collectives before a drop even comes out from their athletic department. Do you think that's fair, that we will still have some of that, financial stratification, or do you think that the pending cap on roster spending from the athletic department might bring things back in line for players and for coaches?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're not sure what the House settlement is going to say. So we're not sure. I mean, there's some rumbling that they don't think that there should be a cap, that's sort of anti-trusting against players, where you can only make so much. The salary cap in the pros is all collectively bargained. Well, there's none of that in college. It's just the adults telling the kids, here's what we're going to give you. Well, so that may not fly. So there may not be a cap. I'm not and frankly, it's been that way forever. The rich have the money, and the poor, the rich get richer, and the poor watch. They don't play on TV. Well, now everybody's on TV, but Nebraska's part of the rich, so we're all in favor of that, right? So, interestingly, I saw Kirby Smart had a quote long ago about I don't think Georgia's losing their mind in terms of paying NIL stuff. I don't think they're maybe as high as some others. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misheard that quote, but I didn't get the feeling that Georgia's necessarily going crazy. So, but everybody else will, and the SEC and the Big Ten, and that's where it's going to be. The interesting thing to me is not how much they have, but how they're going to spend it.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious. It's like, last week talking about Danny Buster and Kelly in volleyball. How much money? Excuse me. How much of that $20 million is going to go to volleyball? Well, Nebraska's going to want to. Nebraska wants to be good at volleyball. Well, maybe other schools aren't, but is Nebraska going to pay more for volleyball than other schools? Or where does that money come from? Well, maybe they don't pay the basketball as much. Well, I'm sure that Fred Hoiberg is going to want as much as everybody else is getting, and the Big Ten cares about what these schools care about basketball. I'm really curious, like Indiana, are they going to pay? Are they going to take some out of the football share to give the basketball, because they like basketball a lot? They probably like it more than football. But I know they do. So it's some of these basketball schools going to give as much to basketball as football, make sure that they get the best players. I'm fascinated by how that's going to be divided up, and I think NIL is 1890 is going to keep going, and they're going to, with the revenue sharing, $20 million coming out of the TV money, and the NIL coming out of the pockets of the fans and the rich donors. So they use the NIL to supplement. Maybe to get a baseball player, maybe to help volleyball, maybe they got to keep Britt Prince here. They got to take care of her, or the men's basketball. So I don't know. It's all. it's a moving target, and it confuses me, but I'm fascinated by it. I just want to know how all this is going to work, and it's it's coming, but we're not sure what, because the actual settlement has not been decided yet.
And like you said, I mean, the more things change, the more things stay the same to some degree, right? The rich will probably stay rich. The poor will probably stay poor. We'll just kind of reskin it and call it different terms. But at the end of the day, it'll probably boil down to more of what we've seen for the last 100 years plus in college football. I do want to jump off on Indiana, though, Tom. I think that was an interesting example you brought up. Like you said, basketball school, always has been, probably always will be. That's a blue blood. The news this week, Mike Woodson, or end of last week, Mike Woodson will resign at the end of the year. At a basketball school, that's a big deal. That's an alum. Been a bit of a rocky tenure for him. But here comes Curt Cignetti, right? Swaggering into Bloomington from James Madison. Yeah, I can't imagine that Indiana's administrators would have a very easy time telling Curt Cignetti, hey, thanks for the college football playoff appearance, but we got to take some of your cut and go to basketball. I can't imagine that would go over well with Cignetti. So I think that's just one example of, a pretty loud coach, opinionated coach, not a bad coach, not a bad guy by any means, but he's going to stand up and fight for his program, his little brother program at a basketball school where this is one of the most important hires in Indiana basketball history, where they have to promise some money to whatever coach comes in to probably get them to take the job. Oh, and by the way, their baseball hasn't been bad in recent years. That's still a baseball team that has a lot of pride. I am so curious to see how the next couple months go for Indiana and some of the decisions that program makes.
Absolutely. Do they have to pay big? I mean, who do they get, and do they pay big? But that's, to me, the fascinating thing about a lot of this is going to be watching coaches and how they react to this. Because, if you're, coaches want to go where their sport matters and where there's a full commitment from the president on down. And if they don't think that, if they're a football coach and they don't think football is good enough, they'll go somewhere where it is. And so, the schools that are basketball schools are really the football schools who care as much or more about basketball are going to have some real tough decisions. That's why I wonder about Nebraska volleyball, because what is Texas going to do? What is, these schools that are really good in volleyball, what is Wisconsin? How are they going to handle this? Texas, Louisville, Pitt, these schools that are in the Final Four now all the time, are they going to give as much money to volleyball as they can, or are they just going to say, well, we have to give over here, we have to give over there? It's going to be something else. I just think, there's a thought from the people in the Big East that they're going to be set up to do really well because they don't have football. They don't have 20 million, but they don't have football. They don't have to take care of football either. So anything like if Creighton or UConn or one of those, that they can do. Of course, UConn has football, but some of these you don't have football. St. John's or somebody, they can give all their money that they're getting to the basketball, and it might be. There's a thought that it'll be $2 to $7 million a year, but that'll be more than a lot of the Big Ten and Big 12 schools are giving to the basketball. So they might be able to offer more money to players than the Big 12 or Big 10, so on and so forth. Problem is the Big East schools have to raise that money themselves. They're not getting TV money like that. So all that, the $2 to $7 million a year is going to come out of their fans' pockets. So that'll be hard to do eventually, but maybe not. But it's I know there's a lot of layers to this and a lot of questions, and I don't know anything. I don't have any answers to it. Whenever I talk, I'm fascinated by it again, but I get confused because there's the way this thing is all broken down. And if you talk to Troy Gannon about this, he will caution you and say, well, we don't have the House settlement yet. I can't tell you how it's going to go. So But I just know Nebraska, they're going to get their, whatever it is, 20 million, 20.5, they're going to have that. And then they're going to have NIL to sort of help out with other athletes. Of course, Austin, we were wondering last week when Matt Rule, talked about his roster and top 57. Was that where the cutoff is? He didn't say why 57, but that's sort of who's going to get the money from revenue sharing. It's a good question. Every coach will probably do it differently, and they'll probably copy what others are doing and try to do the same. But right now, it is a mess.
Ain't that the truth? And like you said, there's probably no one-size-fits-all model. Someone will get it right. Someone will get it wrong. There will be some success stories somewhere in the middle, but that's just kind of how these things go in a new uncharted sort of water. A couple other coaches got raises for Nebraska too, Tom. I think the one, Rob Dvorak, right, linebackers, made some pretty good work out of what we thought was not maybe a lot going into the year, got a lot out of John Bullock. But I know you're a trenches guy. You're an offensive, defensive line guy. Donovan Raiola gets a raise again at Nebraska. How do you think that the Donovan Raiola tenure has gone for Nebraska football on the offensive line?
Well, again, I thought they have gotten better every year. What I would judge it on is against Iowa and against Wisconsin. And they were better than Wisconsin last year. They were as good or better than Iowa. They didn't lose that game because of. Now, when I say that, the Iowa at the end, Rail got sacked, right? So I think that it could have been better. They ended up losing the game because he got sacked and he fumbled. But up until that, I thought they were doing well, and I think they've been better, but they still need more help. They brought some guys in from the portal. They're going to get some guys back, hopefully healthy, and it's going to be that much better. It's going to have to be if they're going to make the next jump. But I think he's been fine. I don't think it's like unbelievable offensive lines or anything, but I think it's gotten better, and it's going to have to take a big jump this year. But it takes players to do that. You can't just wave a magic wand in practice. Excuse me. There is development, but you can't. There's no substitute for talent, and they're going to be more talented.
The other name that came up on our text line in terms of talented dudes on the offensive line is one that I think gets glossed over by a lot of Husker fans. A guy that I know the name, don't know much about him as a person or a player. 0737 was early in the show talking about Russ Hochstein doing the high hurdles in high school. How good was Russ Hochstein?
Well, he was one of my favorites to cover, and I remember back when I used to do the Super Bowl once in a while. I remember he was with New England, and I loved talking to him. I think he was from Hardington, maybe Nebraska. Yeah, he was real good. I mean, it was, it just, they went up to, I can't remember, I don't know what year it was, but it seemed like they, in the 2000s, they still had a lot of good linemen, and they just kind of slowly stopped churning them out. But yeah, I think, I was not surprised that he ran the hurdles. I mean, again, it's the Cam Jerkins factor, athleticism. You put them on the line, and they can move well, and they can also move people out well.
I have never been an offensive line coach. I've never been anywhere close to big enough to play offensive line. But when I look at some of these guys, I mean, they make some freaks lists in terms of best athletes in the NFL and in college football. It seems to me, Tom, like it's probably easier to coach the technique and the skills. It's harder to teach the size, the strength, and the athleticism for an offensive lineman specifically. When you look at Nebraska's offensive line room over the last couple of years, have you noticed it getting bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, again, not by crazy amounts, but I mean, it's certainly not a top level line or anything. But it's gotten better. It's had a long way to go. They've also put a lot of some young guys in there. Again, talent matters. I mean, if Teddy Prochaska's out there, the line's going to look a lot better. I mean, first couple of years ago, when he first played against Ohio State, I mean, he was moving people out. And he just looked great. I mean, it takes talent, and I think the one thing you can recruit this, you can't develop it. It's the motor, the want to factor, the I'm going to kill you factor, and nobody had that motor that I've seen that been around more than Dominic Raiola. He was his NFL coach Mary Ritchie used to call him Psycho, and in a affectionate way. He was kidding with him, but it just like that was Dominic Raiola was a guy who was ferocious, and you don't see many linemen that are ferocious, but he was one of them. And you want lining up across for him, you didn't know what he was going to do. You didn't know, but I can't speak from experience, but I can tell you that people didn't want to be across for him because he was going to come at you in any which way he could. So that's kind of hard. You need a whole bunch of those kind of guys. The linemen are the best linemen, especially in Nebraska. Were all technicians. They all could have been line. They were all line coaches. They all could have called plays and schemes, and I'm sure a lot of them probably wanted to call plays at some point since they were tired of passing the ball. But I've always liked offensive line because they're the smartest guys on the team, and at least the really good offensive lines, they're the smartest guys. And they could tell you exactly what happened on the play, why it broke down, why this, why that, and it's the best linemen have a combination of everything. But it's again talent, athleticism and ability to I'm going to put somebody on their back. That's the best offensive line.
That voice you hear, Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. He's with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. We're going to take our first break of the show. We'll have more with Tom on Husker hoops and Husker bat and ball sports. Softball in action over the weekend. Baseball getting started this weekend. All that and more ahead on the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, a chance of snow this afternoon. See a high near 35. Tonight, a chance of snow and cold with a low of 8. Tomorrow, we'll see a chance of snow in the morning, otherwise mainly cloudy and breezy with a high near 19. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in Ticket Weeknights, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com, free app for your phone. Also on Allo Channel 961 on your Allo cable package. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. They also sponsor our VIP line. We head there now. We welcome back in Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Tom, going on in about 25 minutes from now, down at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the Nebraska women's basketball team is taking on Iowa. Huskers won the first game on the road in Iowa City. Pretty memorable time for the Huskers. The last time the Hawkeyes came to town, they took down Caitlin Clark, Lisa Bluter, and the Iowa Hawkeyes in a high-profile matchup at the end of last season. What's it like in a rivalry game when some of the biggest stars, I mean, Caitlin Clark, Lisa Bluter, obviously Jazz Shelley for Nebraska were the headliners. What is it like when a rivalry loses players like that? How does it keep its buzz?
Well, you don't replace Caitlin Clark maybe ever. So I don't know that's going to happen tonight. But no, the best programs always have others. It's usually, for me, the rivalry isn't about the players; it's about the coaches. And I mean, the Norm Stewarts and some of the people we used to see, and the Barry Spitzers, the Bill McCarthy's. I mean, those were, I think, of rivalries. I think of the coaches who come every other year. And basketball, especially, it's better because you get to see them up close. Tomorrow night, Danny Hurley's coming to Omaha for great, and the fans love to get on him, and it'll be wild. And it's also dollar beer night, so you do the math, but it's that's what. I was really disappointed that we aren't going to see Lisa Bluter back here, because after her performance last year, which I loved.
She had a flight to catch. She had a flight.
I thought it was hilarious. Again, it reminded me of some coaches I used to cover. They're mad because they lost, so they take it out on something else. And but that was kind of it was her fault in a way, because they took too long getting out of the locker room at the the Nebraska men's and women's games, the opposing coach goes first, and in the interview room, and usually, especially on a game like that where they storm the court, and Nebraska players and coaches are out on the court with the fans and doing all this stuff. Usually, if you're a visiting coach and you've had a tough loss on the road, you want to get the hell out of there. You're not, screwing around in the locker room. You're like, let's go, pack it up. We're going out now. And I've heard that a million times when I've covered road games. And I think they sat in that locker room for 20 minutes or so. That was a long time to be stewing over that game. Then they show up. So, Nebraska's here. Let's go ahead. Let's do that. We'll go ahead and I believe Jeff Grease, the sports information director, said, when Iowa comes in, we'll pull our players out and let them go because they're supposed to go first. And so Caitlin Clark, and they show up and they weren't allowed to go in, and then because the Nebraska players were there, so they told Bluter, well, we're not on our turn yet, and that's when she exploded. So she was mad about the losing, but I wish she was back just for that. The people would be yelling at her about the protocol and a plane to catch and all that stuff. But I don't know the new Iowa coach. I know she's been there a long time. I think she's from Drake originally. She maybe played at Drake and went to Iowa with Lisa Bluter, but it's still Nebraska, Iowa. So somebody's going to get fired up about something. So, but this Nebraska team needs to get back on the winning track. Indiana game got away from them last week, and then Michigan came to town and kind of thumped them. So they need to get back on track. They're still in the tournament, but this will be a real nice one to get.
That it would. You mentioned that record, 16-7 for the Huskers, 7-5 in conference play off that 2-game losing streak. No better team to get right against than Iowa tonight before a 2-game road swing, Maryland, Illinois. Then the West Coast teams actually come to Lincoln, Oregon, and Washington before the Huskers wrap up the regular season at Northwestern. Tom, that's one thing about this women's basketball program is there's really no doubts about them in the regular season. They know how to withstand the grind of the Big Ten, and you kind of know what you're going to get from them, right? They'll be good in the regular season, but they haven't consistently had that top-end difference maker, and then sometimes the role players disappear in some of these games too. What is the next step for Nebraska women's basketball as a program?
Well, just keep doing what you're trying to get healthy. I mean, they've had unbelievable injuries. Just incredible stuff. I mean, but you can't argue with Markowski. Alexa Markowski is as good as anybody, and here comes Brett Prince right behind her. So I think they're Amy Williams is, like you said, built the program to win in the conference, and I think that's kind of what you're doing right now. I mean, unless, again, revenue sharing, NIL, where does it all fit? What's USC doing? What's UCLA doing? I mean, you lose Caitlin Clark, who goes to the national championship game, and then she leaves, and then here comes USC and UCLA. I mean, good God! I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? The whole league is good, and they just got better. So, I think Amy Williams, just keep doing what you're doing and try to get in the top. Are you going to out recruit UCLA? I mean, I don't know. I don't think you are, but you never know. But there's a lot of good ones. Indiana looked good. Ohio State's obviously good. Michigan is good. It's just over and over. Illinois, I think, is pretty good. But anyway, it's something else. And I just think, what can they do to keep the players like Prince coming and maybe going out and I think Amy does a good job of recruiting to her style and her system, the whole culture. I think that's, as for a place like Nebraska, that's as important as going out and getting unbelievable talent. They may or may not stay or leave, So I like having a program that's going to be consistent and is going to win all the time. And then, every once in a while, you take your shot.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Nebraska men's basketball. Tom, they get their winning ways, keeping them on the train tracks. Their fourth straight win for Nebraska. This time, Ohio State falls victim 79-71. Your impressions from watching the Huskers take down the Buckeyes at Pinnacle Bank Arena yesterday?
Yeah, that was a really good win. And they, after what they've been through, where they didn't respond well in a lot of games, to the clutch situations, not missing free throws, not playing defense on the perimeter, things not locking down the little things, and and really just not responding. Well, they got it back. I thought they kind of got a little bit lucky against Illinois. They certainly earned the win in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But Illinois took a million bad shots. And that's kind of how Nebraska beat Creighton and beat UCLA, by these teams that just couldn't. It took all these outside three-pointers.
They just couldn't help themselves.
They couldn't hit any of them. Yeah. And so, but then during that 6-game streak, you had some teams that started to make them. And so, that became a little bit of a problem. I thought what I liked about yesterday afternoon was the response. Ohio State kind of had control at halftime, and then they came out and they got the lead to 8. Nebraska stuck right in there and went and they kept going to the basket. I thought, I told our beat writer Wilson Moore, I said, beginning of the game, Williams and Gary were driving to the hoop and getting fouled and scoring. I said, that's a great game plan. They're not stopping that. And then they kind of went away from it a little bit. They may have thrown a zone out there at times, but I felt like they got back into doing that, and they climbed back into it. But the best part was Ohio State shot really well from the three. Nebraska still won. And they hadn't been doing that in the 6-game set. So I thought that was a really good sign that, okay, even though Ohio State had something going, Nebraska found other ways to win, rebounding, defense, and going to the hoop and making a hell of a lot of free throws. That was a great sign. So I think hopefully the 6-game skid is out of their system. I thought they showed yesterday that they've got a formula to win if they get down.
That's back-to-back opponents now. Ohio State and Washington both went 10 of 25 from 3, and that had been the death knell for Nebraska. As soon as teams hit 39% or more of their threes, that had been lights out for Nebraska. It's 2 straight games Nebraska's found a way to come back and win. They were plus 24 in the second half against Washington, plus 13 in the second half against Ohio State. Credit a veteran team, I guess, for going into halftime and making adjustments. But to me, Tom, I think the biggest quote-unquote adjustment Nebraska made in the second half was having its full complement of players. That offense was humming. It was buzzing before, I don't call it a ref show, but it seemed a little ticky-tack, a little inconsistent from Media Row. When Nebraska had everyone available, Nebraska was playing like the clearly superior team yesterday.
Absolutely. And, your top 2 dogs have to be the ones leading the way. Your best players. And that's Bryce and Juwan.
Yeah.
And ever since the Illinois game, Bryce he had some good games during the losing streak, but he's been a different guy, and he's been a lot more assertive. And he's like the light bulb came on. Hey, it's February, man. Like I said, February is for closers. This is the time of year where the people who are going to be who are going to stand up and be counted for show up. And, there's no, you don't hold back now. So, the stars usually take over in February, the teams that are going to go places. So, again, it's just the whole vibe now is confidence again. I hate that they lost Burke, especially the last minute. I mean, but I saw him walking off the court, or not walking, he carried or helped to the locker room, and he was crying out in pain. You always hate when it's really painful like that. Those guys, I mean, it's probably they're going to be out for a while. So, but hopefully he'll get back, because he had his best game at Nebraska. So, they're not pretty, they're not perfect, but they're 16-8, and it's a hell of a lot better than 12-8. And they've got the quad. Beauty of playing in the Big Ten, there's plenty of quad one win opportunities. They've got it. They just had Illinois, Oregon, and Ohio State. Now they've got Maryland Thursday. So another good chance.
That'll be Thursday at 7:30. Huskers look to extend that 4-game winning streak to 5. We'll take our final break of the show. Finish up with Jordy Ball's, re-debut at Nebraska. She's back from her injury, playing well down in Clearwater, and Husker baseball gets going this weekend as well. More straight ahead with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planter Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planters and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planter Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln or their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca remind you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. Proudly saluting our troops and veterans now and all year long.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with 0 down. So check us out online at CoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on the Husker Football Hour. We've talked some Husker football in the first segment, some Husker hoops in the second, now some Husker bat and ball sports in this segment. We got Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Tom, we talked a lot about talent acquisition. Nebraska softball certainly re-added some talent. Jordy Ball coming off her knee injury. Pretty much did it all in game 1 against Tennessee. Number 19, Nebraska takes down number 6, Tennessee. Jordy Ball complete game. And just hits a 2-run home run to help provide the dagger for good measure. Just how meaningful is it for Nebraska softball to have a player of Jordy Ball's caliber back?
Well, I can't wait to find out. I mean, but it could be transformational. I mean, certainly, Coach Clavel's had a very good program. They've done well in the Big Ten. They won the tournament a couple of years ago, and they've been to the NCAAs. But this is a player that's been the MVP of the Women's College World Series twice and won national championships. So, and she was a big reason that happened, obviously. So, it was just great. After last year, we got hyped up, we got excited, and the injury, which I was glad and kind of interested to hear her say that she thought it was a blessing in disguise. It gave her a year off to kind of, I got to catch up on rest and just kind of, she needed the year. So I thought that was interesting to hear her say that. And she came out of the gate throwing a complete game and hitting the bomb. So they won 4. I think they lost 2. The last 2 worked to ranked teams, I believe. But awesome. I looked it up today. I think Nebraska softball, I think that by March 1st, they will play 16 games. I mean, that's unbelievable. They just play all these games. And that's the great thing about softball. It goes fast. You play doubleheader. And I think this weekend they're playing 2 games on a Saturday or 2 on Friday or something. And they do that every weekend. So I can't wait to see what happens. What's the reaction going to be? People, when they sold all those tickets last year, they added seats and they sold them. What's the reaction going to be? We kind of forgot about it because she got hurt. It didn't happen. So, I can't wait to see the response. The sellouts, the buzz, the excitement, the media people. A guy like me, Oscar Madison, trying to find a softball stadium. You go to Haymarket Park, but you don't go to baseball. You go over here. I've got to find the softball press box, so it's going to be great. So, many years ago, for a column, I went over there. I didn't actually go to the softball field, and for a column, I was going to get a helmet on and a bat, and I got on the batter's box. I didn't dig in. I was smarter than that. But I did face Peaches James, and I found one off. I did make contact, but those things come at you quick. They're really, really fast, and it's kind of a knee knocker for a guy like me. So really I do enjoy softball, and I enjoy watching it on TV. I enjoy watching the women's the softball World Series. There's a lot of excitement, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Right now, I'm kind of in basketball mode, still hoop mode. You know, if Matt Rule wants to talk to me, we're certainly going to talk. But I'm not ready for softball yet, but I'm going to get there. But I'm watching it, and we've got Husker baseball starting this weekend. They go to the Desert Classic, the Desert Invite, and they play Vanderbilt on Saturday. And hopefully the Whistler won't be there, but so baseball's here. So it's that time of year where a lot of things overlap.
Yeah. What are your expectations for Husker baseball this year, Tom?
We'll have to win at the Big Ten tournament. I'm kind of thinking, I wonder if they can do that again. I don't really, I hate to say this, but I'm not really focused on Big Ten baseball. If they win the league, that'd be terrific. I want to know, we all want to know, can they host a regional? Can they get to the super regional round? That's the next step. I don't ever expect a program like Nebraska to go to the World Series. It could happen. If it does, it won't be a fluke. It'll be great. His team will have earned it and find a way to do it. But I don't expect it. But I think super regional, they should be able to do that. And the Big Ten has gotten better. I'd like to see him build on that Big Ten tournament win last year, where the people showed up and they gave them something to cheer about, and it was a great memory for everybody. It really, I think it pumps a lot of life into the baseball team and program to be able to do that on their home turf. I mean, all those years that they won Oklahoma City, the Big 12, they played those Big 12 tournaments. That was on red clay. They've never won a trophy in Omaha at the World Series, but they got one last year, and I thought that was a hell of a story, and it produces a lot of excitement going into this year.
That there is, of course, plenty of excitement for Husker hoops, like you were talking about, Tom. Will we see you at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Thursday night for Nebraska, Maryland?
I'm going to try to get there. I don't usually go to 8 o'clock games, and I think this is 7:30, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think Seamus told me that. So, 7:30. It's not my bedtime yet, but there's TV people just drive me nuts. 8 o'clock games. I can't even watch them at home on TV. They're so late, but that's old man hoops talking. But I'm going to try to get there.
Sounds great. Well, hope to see you there, Tom. Thanks as always for your hour here on a Monday night. We'll do it again next week.
All right. Thanks.
That's Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald joining us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Check us out on Allo's cable package, channel 961. Thanks to all you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Don't go anywhere. We got the Don't Punt Hour coming up next here on Ticket Weeknights.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100 and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.